My name is Trish Smith, and I'm the Communications Manager with the Nova Scotia School Boards Association. Just a bit of background, our involvement with the school board candidate information sessions is that we've been partnering with the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development to bring information to both the folks who are interested in running for school board, but also to the general voting public, because we are hoping to engage voters, increase voter turnout, and also increase understanding around eligibility. There is the myth out there that if you don't have kids in the system, you can't vote, and that's not true. And we also want to ensure that folks are informed about eligibility when it comes to the African Nova Scotian candidates and the Conseil scolaire acadien provincial candidates. So just a little bit of background there. So about the Nova Scotia School Boards Association, we were formed in 1954 as a provincial voice for governing school boards. Back then there were a few more than 8 around the province, but today we do have 7 regional school boards and 1 provincial school board. We have a board of directors. It's made up of a president, a vice president, past president, and then 8 directors from each of the boards. Those elections are held every year at our annual general meeting, and they come from the general school board membership. The NSSBA is a bilingual association, although I won't insult anybody with my French tonight. And we support all 7 regional school boards and the 1 provincial school board. We have standing committees: education, communications, resolutions, and nominations. Those are in regards to our annual general meeting. We have resolutions that come forward every year from the school boards. These are statements of support that the school boards bring forward and are seeking support on a provincial level. So for example, one resolution that came from the AGM last year that gained a lot of traction was regarding school bus red light violations. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard about the school bus red light violations coverage that's been in the media over the last couple of months, but us pushing that as a cause and bringing some partners together was a direct result of a resolution that came from the Tri-County Regional School Board. And nominations would be for the executive positions with our board of directors. We have ad hoc committees established when required. For example, today we had our new governance steering committee formed, which is going to look at a governance model for school boards across the province. So it's a committee that's made up of representation from all of the school boards so that all of the voices can be heard at the table, and they'll be discussing governance models and best practices. So what we do, primarily advocacy and awareness for public education in Nova Scotia. An example again would be the red light violations. So that has been a fairly high profile issue that we've been trying to keep in the media and keep the discussions going. And while people may not think that that's tied to education, it most certainly is tied to student safety, which is tied to education. Our students need to be safe in order to get to and from school every day. We provide governing school board support. This is a large part of our mandate. We will help school boards with professional development, self-assessment, understanding bylaws, best practices, procedures. We also have management services with our pension plan, our employees benefits plan, and our central purchasing. So these are components of our business that we do to support all of the boards so that they can come together and have additional buying power or purchasing power when it comes to those kinds of programs. So it's really beneficial for all of the non-teaching staff across the province. We are a united, proactive voice for education in Nova Scotia. We do not take on any one issue that is specific to one school board. So part of the role of our board of directors is to bring the issues to the table, everyone identify it as a common concern or a common issue, and then we plan how we're going to move forward. We promote educational excellence as a provincial imperative. So we have a direct relationship with the Minister of Education, because with the Nova Scotia School Boards Association, it's elected to elected. So it's governing school board members to the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development. So we have the opportunity to meet with the minister regularly and bring forward some of those common issues and have those discussions. And it's proven to be a very, very valuable relationship. and it's one that our board of directors really takes very seriously. We raise the provincial and national profile for school boards, which is another reason why we were so excited to be involved with the school board elections work, because in addition to engaging voters and perhaps folks who are interested in running for school board, we're raising the profile of school boards and governing boards across the province, perhaps to get discussions going on what do school boards do. There's a lot of confusion around what does the governing school board even do. We support the school boards with professional development, and we focus it on best practices and good governance. We have opportunities for networking and sharing of best practices. We had our AGM a couple of weeks ago. It's a small province, but it really is a wonderful opportunity for school board members to all be in a room together and be able to talk about the opportunities and the challenges that they're experiencing in their boards. They get to have those discussions. Sometimes it can change how people view things. It's a really good opportunity, and the NSSBA provides that network so that school board members can come together and talk about common issues and discuss things. Advocacy and communication. So again, we advocate on behalf of our school boards and our members with the public and with the province. And we offer shared services, which would be those pension and employee benefits and central purchasing. Meetings, we have a lot of meetings. We bring people together for a lot of different reasons. And one of those reasons would be the professional development sessions that we offer throughout the year. One of the largest sessions that we will plan will be for this fall after the elections. So we will have, it's about a day and a half, a session that'll be in November after the boards are all sworn in. And it's an opportunity for school board members to come together, some new, some returning, learn about governance, learn about best practices, learn about the importance of your bylaws and your codes of ethics, which again are specific to each board, but what we'll be reiterating is how important it is to know the business of your board. We'll also talk about some of the provincial initiatives that are going on that can affect governing school boards. And it's a good opportunity, again, to bring everyone together, first time, some new people, some returning, and get that information out there and sort of start the conversation rolling with some new folks. We have our committee meetings on a regular basis, and our annual general meeting is in May, June, and it travels around the province from board to board. This year it was with the Annapolis Valley Regional School Board. Next year it's with the Strait Regional School Board. We have a strategic plan that was recently updated and revised with 5 strategic goals. I won't read them word for word. They are on our website, nssba.ca, but essentially they capture the spirit of what we are all about, which is advocacy and support, bringing attention to funding and equitable access to programs and equitable funding for programs. It's really important that we talk about these things on a provincial level, because what perhaps works in one school board might not work in another. So we need to have the discussions at a provincial level, at a provincial table. One of the groups that sometimes gets together, I think it's about 3 times a year, would be the Leaders Advisory Committee, and that is the school board chairs and the superintendents and members from the Nova Scotia School Boards Association. So that's another opportunity where people come together and they talk about the issues and they talk about the challenges and the opportunities, and that all fed into our strategic goals. We looked at all of these groups that we work with and that we talk with and that we try to support, and that is what informed the development of our strategic goals. The number 5 is new this year: strengthen the autonomy and authority of governing school boards. So the spirit of that came from the desire to really understand the role of governing school boards and what is within their jurisdiction, what is within their decision-making power, and having a better understanding of that and making sure that they and we don't lose sight of what that is. It's also informing our work with the governance steering team. So that's been really exciting work. It's just started, but it's creating some really great conversations, and we are looking forward to the end product, which will be some recommendations for the boards. In regards to the supports for governing boards specifically, effective board governance is certainly a large discussion piece. People are always talking about how can we be a better board? How can I be a better school board member? We have created different professional development tools. most recently, we have our self-assessment and evaluation tools that were created by a committee at the NSSBA, again, made up of all of the school board members. And it started as one product and turned into many products as the discussions flourished, and they realized that there was need for a lot of different self-assessment and evaluation and professional development tools. For example, there's one tool there that just looks at the school board members' understanding of legislation, because there are a lot of pieces of legislation that you need to be familiar with, and not just the Education Act. So it's from those discussions at the board table at a provincial level that they get to really see what does everybody need. And the self-assessment tools definitely were a product of that kind of discussion. Orientation and support for new members and new board chairs as well. So board chairs are elected every year. School board members are elected every 4 years, unless there is a by-election. So you may end up with a new board member on your board halfway through the term. They're going to need support. If someone's a new school board chair, they're going to need support. So the NSSBA is in a position to provide that support. And the self-assessment tools, as I discussed earlier. Change and innovation. There's a lot of change and there is a lot of innovation in education in Nova Scotia right now. As a communications person, one of the things that I find most frustrating is that we often focus on the bad. We often focus on the negative, and we often focus on what's wrong. And there's so much that is right in education in Nova Scotia. There are some amazing things going on with our boards, with our schools. Our governing board members are passionate, educated, thoughtful people. And part of what we do at the NSSBA is find opportunities to share that, because there really is a lot of great things going on. And it's important for people to understand that, and important for the broader community, not just the school community, to know about these things that are happening. There are many stakeholders invested and ready for change, including the Nova Scotia School Boards Association. So we responded to the Auditor General's report. We were involved with the transition task force that the minister has just completed, where there were recommendations on how to support students going from the public system into post-secondary or into the workforce. We were involved with the Minister's Action Plan on Education. So we're trying to be involved in all of these different initiatives, school board elections being one of them, because there are so many stakeholders and we want to come to those tables as well. And it is a very exciting time because there are a lot of people with a lot of great visions for education in Nova Scotia. So some of the initiatives that we've influenced, either through our position papers or through resolutions: skilled trades, options and opportunities, fantastic programs within the school boards. The NSSBA have been strong supporters for those for many years. Student information system and interdepartmental collaboration. So these are things that our board members have identified, again, in their local boards as priorities, brought them to the provincial table, everybody's discussed them, and we've decided to move forward as a collective and support these things provincially. In the community, we've been involved in a number of education and public awareness initiatives, including Provincial Education Week, which happens every spring, where a large number of the award recipients are teachers. And then as a partner in that group, we're able to award a school board member with a Provincial Education Week award. So there are a number of folks who sit at that table as well. And we get to discuss the theme and how we're going to reach out to students and how we're going to reach out to teachers and other folks to get the nominations in. It's a really exciting initiative to be a part of because, again, it gives us that opportunity to celebrate what's happening in schools and to celebrate what's happening with our governing boards when sometimes we don't have those opportunities. The Education Partners Group would be the NSTU and the Federation of Home and Schools and the Federation for Parents of French Students. It's a group of organizations, and NSSBA is one of them, that come together and have discussions. The Transition Task Force, which I mentioned, our now past president sat on that committee and was able to lend the provincial governing board voice to the discussions around how to best prepare students when they leave grade 12. The School Bus Red Light Violations Awareness Project has been really, really busy for us. And the school board elections for 2016 has been great. I'll give a little plug to the I Stop for the School Bus image that's here. There'll be some magnets coming out in the fall. Make sure you get yourselves one and put them on your car. And everybody stop for the school bus when the red lights are flashing. Just need to put that plug in. On the national stage, we are a member of the Canadian School Boards Association. So we sit at the executive table there. This promotes education at the national level. I'm not sure if any of you were aware of some of the concerns in Quebec a couple of weeks ago, where there was a proposal on the table to abolish school boards, and it's certainly far more technical and detailed than I have the knowledge to share with you. But I will say that the CSBA and all of the school board associations around the country supported keeping school boards in Quebec, and that was overturned, and now school boards are going to carry on. And actually, it's the English public school boards in Quebec that were a large part of that discussion, and now they may be informing how school boards operate in Quebec. So it kind of flipped, and a lot of that came from support from the National Association. They provide resources for school boards, but it also gives us an opportunity to share resources. So when we were developing the self-assessment materials, we were able to connect with other school board associations around the country and say, so what do you have? What have you been doing? How do you support your board members? And then we share resources. And we're very proud, because we are a bilingual association, we've developed the tools in French and in English, and we've made them available so that we can now share at the national level. There are partnerships with Canadian Education Associations, 5 Facts on Education, and the Canadian Ministers of Education. So it's a really good networking group as well, but on the national level. So the NSSBA online, we have quite the presence right now. We have our website and our Twitter account, but then we also have the school board elections activity that's been going on. And if you tweet or if you're on Facebook, I encourage you to like and follow the accounts. Check out the website where a lot of the information from tonight is there. More information will be added as we receive it, especially regarding boundaries, if electoral boundaries are changing. The website is available in French and English, so that's a great resource for everyone.